Hello, everyone. In this video today, we will be shortly going over a few aspects of Canvas and how they are aligned and departed from two usability principles and the eight golden rules of interface design, from designing the user interface and two accessibility principles outlined in the W3C's Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1. First up, let's introduce Canvas. Canvas is an interactive education platform which allows students and faculty of many institutions to be able to access their class information, retrieve and submit assignments, communicate with faculty or peers, among many other capabilities. It is available as a mobile application as well as a desktop browser website. I will be focusing on the desktop version for this video, as that is the one I use most often. First, I will be addressing the usability principles as specified in designing the user interface that Canvas adheres to. The first principle we will look at is prevent errors. Designing the user interface describes error prevention by stating, as much as possible, design the interface so that users cannot make serious errors. For example, gray out menu items that are not appropriate and do not allow alphabetic characters in numeric entry fields. As an example, one of the ways that Canvas adheres to this principle is preventing errors in file submission. As can be seen in Figure 2.1.1, we see that it shows specification of what type of submission is expected, and the instructor can provide many different ones. This one is a URL, but they can also specify a PDF, a docx, a text box, a shared Google file, and many others. Now, looking at Figure 2.1.2, we see that this is followed through with a requirement that the submission be in the form specified. The next principle we will look at is to permit easy reversal of actions. Designing the user interface describes easy reversal of actions by stating, as much as possible, actions should be reversible. This feature relieves anxiety since users know that errors can be undone and encourages exploration of unfamiliar options. The units of reversibility may be a single action, a data entry task, or a complete group of actions, such as entry of a name address block. One example of how Canvas adheres to this principle is by their text box submissions. As you can see here, we have a nonsensical sentence being typed, and it is easily deleted to be rewritten in a similar manner as many text editors. And we are able to move forward from a quick reversal of action. This is a small example of how a user does not bury themselves in a simple mistake and can backtrack quite easily. Aside from usability, Canvas adheres to and departs from two accessibility principles as defined by W3C's Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1. The first principle we will address is understandability. Understandability is defined as information and the operation of the user interface must be understandable. A bit redundant, I know. However, one of the aspects of understandability is input assistance, and Canvas's homepage does a pretty exemplary job of displaying input assistance with interesting clickable feedback. In Figure 3.1.1, we see an accessibility scan that I ran through Accessibee that shows that their homepage has a 99 rating for clickables. In Figure 3.1.2, we see one example where we have selected the Students and Educators button, and the button field is now highlighted, and a new window pops up with further information and fields to enter. The last principle we will look at is perceivability. This is defined as information and user interface components must be presentable to users in ways that they can perceive. Again, a bit redundant, isn't it? In this, Canvas takes a bit of a misstep in their homepage, and they have a lacking of distinguishability. As can be seen in Figure 3.2.1, as part of the same Accessibee scan from prior, the readability score suffered because of a font sizing issue. There were several parts of the homepage that had font sizes too small and or not adjustable that made several parts inaccessible, as seen in Figure 3.2.2. In conclusion, Canvas does a great job of assisting the user in preventing errors by implementing consistent submission restrictions, permitting easy reversal of actions in situations such as the text box example, and offering input assistance through button response and feedback. However, it could definitely use some work in paying attention to accessibility factors like font sizing within their pages. Thank you for your time and have a great day.